Yo, hello everyone. Samer here today with another new video for Seven Deadly Sins Origin, and this video is pretty much gonna be about Gowther and my thoughts on releasing units like him in the game for the future. And well, to not like make like super video like 20 minutes long, I'm gonna give you my points about this. And it's like if you've been playing the game for some time, you will realize that when Merlin came out, sorry for that, it came out as a main ice unit with thunder and fire, right? But we're gonna only focus on the ice part for this example. So when she came out with a grimoire for ice and everything, right? The moment she came out, in the game, they released a raid called the Tyrannis Sanctuary. This raid in specific is made for the purpose of having a either a wind or an ice team, right? Now, the thing with this is that when Merlin released, and they obviously released this raid, you kind of had to have Merlin in order to be a stronger for the raid. Um, as you know, obviously, like you have the win teams, but mainly it was Merlin because Merlin herself is also like really strong, right? The higher potentials you get for her, comparable to Escanor or Meliodas, I think she's probably the strongest at the highest potential. If not, she's on par with Meliodas, and both of them are way stronger than Escanor, right? So what happens here is that they release Merlin, they release the raid, and you are kind of forced to pull for Merlin because it's the weakness element for the raid, right? However, when you are inside the raid, it doesn't have any sort of mechanic that stops you from clearing it with wind or with darkness even, or fire if you have like a really strong Escanor. Like it doesn't have any sort of mechanic that forces you to have Merlin on it, right? Uh, and not even that. Like when she came out, there were no bosses that she was actually like strong with. Um, like yeah, if you had like potential 10 Merlin, you can kill them with the thunder weapon, but not everyone has a potential 10 Merlin. So I'm not gonna like go into that much. So she didn't have any sort of solo boss experience as them. They have other element weaknesses, and so even though you kind of needed her for the ice team for the raid, it's not like she was a must pull unit, right? You could skip her, and you could still do damage with Meliodas or with Escanor. Obviously, way less, but you still could, right? So, what do I mean about the Gowther issue? So, the problem with Gowther is that his main weapon, the wand, gives him certain skills that help with the current mechanics that they added in the game. So his first skill, which is the charge arrow, it says if the attack is fully charged and the enemy has a barrier, defense shatter increases by 25%. And what was the other one? Okay, it's basically this one only, sorry. So sorry again. So the problem with this is that you are not needed to use him on the wand version, but it's clear that they intended for the new content, for the new content to be catered towards Gowther. And what do I mean by this? If you go into the boss challenge, I'm just gonna enter this real quick. I'm not gonna kill it. I'm just showing you for the purposes of the video. Like you can see that the boss has a barrier, right? So it means that obviously with the one Gowther, you are able to do way more damage to the boss. And like I know this boss is not supposed to be like something hard, but if you are running towards the leaderboards, um, you kind of have to have Gowther, right? Right now the leaderboards are also a mess because there's a bug, so it doesn't really matter. But if you want to be like super efficient, you need to have Gowther. And then the problem with this is that they made the new raid, the Spider Nest, Thunder and Fire elements. So what's the problem with this? The problem with this is that while you can bring Merlin, and Merlin is way stronger than Gowther, the way they designed the raid is that almost every single boss in here has a barrier. I think all of them actually have a barrier that they put on themselves. So while you are not like forced into bringing Gowther into his wand spec, it was clear that they designed it that with that in mind, right? And the problem is here that I'm just gonna enter to show you something to make my point cross even more. Is that when you are selecting the pledges, this one here says increase elite and boss attack by 30%, defense by 30%, and barrier efficiency by 50%. And here's decrease player spears by 80%, right? So casually, Gowther in his one spec helps with these two pledges. So that's the main issue with this, is that Gowther as a unit is not bad. Like himself is actually really good in all of his weapons. Well, I don't know about book because no one actually uses the book, but the wand and staff are like really good. But the problem with it is that they are designing now the content towards every single new unit, and it started with Merlin, right? With Merlin, they gave us the new sectors and obviously the raid. However, the raid didn't have any special mechanic that Merlin would be required to like bypass the mechanics, right? But with Gowther, while he's not required to be on the one spec, it is clearly that they designed the raids and the bosses with that in mind, so that you need to pull Gowther if you want to be more efficient and everything like that. However, I think what they didn't fully test is that Merlin herself in the Thunder or the book would be that strong. Even the Fire one, like she is just that strong. That you don't really need to use Gowther on the wand. However, like I mentioned before, it is clear that if they keep releasing these type of units where they are must pulls, not because they are like exactly good, but because they're gonna be able to bypass certain mechanics of future content, it's gonna be like really bad for the game because, as you know, the only scene that is not available yet is ban. So most likely the next unit is gonna be ban. I hope it's not an OC, but it's most likely ban. So ban is most likely gonna be physical, which Gowther will also help because he has the book. And I hope that Netmarble doesn't go and forces you to pull ban because the next boss is gonna be weakened for physical with the rate 2 and the sectors 2. So it will force you to either pull ban or build some fucking I forgot his name, Griamore, right? Or Dreyfus. Like that would make like zero sense for the free-to-play players. Like I'm a free-to-play player, and this is like what I've been trying to like, I guess, build. I've been quite lucky with my pools, I'm not gonna lie, and saving a lot of them because I skip Meliodas, I skip Clotho, I skip Daisy. So I have all of the other scenes, I guess. But yeah, like the main issue is that because of this, I'm just afraid that Marvel is gonna say like, hey, you know what? We are actually just gonna keep releasing units that you will need to pull because we're gonna make the content towards those units, right? So ban is the next scene. We're gonna make it physical. Maybe then there's an OC that will help ban. And then after that, we're probably gonna get like one of the commandments, and it's gonna be something darkness, which you guys maybe will have Meliodas, but maybe they will have specific skills towards certain bosses or something like that that will make the commandments better than Meliodas. Like this is what I mean, right? So with that being said, it's just probably like a rant or maybe a warning. And yeah, like even if you're a free to play player, you should try to pull Gowther because he helps the Thunder teams and it's most likely gonna help ban. But if you're still on the edge about it as a free to play player, wait until the banner is about to run out and they announce who is the next unit. It's still a lot of time, as you can see here, 17 days. So you can wait for it. You don't exactly need him if you have Drake. You can honestly replace Gowther with Drake for Thunder teams. Even with Daisy. Like if you have Daisy, do not pull Gowther. Like unless Ban is the next one and he needs Gowther. But that's my advice as a free-to-play player. Plan your pulls. Don't just rush ahead unless he's your favorite character, then there's nothing to do about that. But yeah, this is my main issue with the game right now. Uh, and yeah, I guess that's all about it. And please let Marvel fix the leaderboards because what the hell do you mean we're getting another bug letting everyone kill in 2 seconds? It should not be happening. Reset them right now. So with that being said, thank you guys for watching. See you guys on the next one. Peace.